There's nothing
You
cheap.
got 6 seconds.
Tell me about it.
I'll get over and sit down. I got 3 seconds.
Yeah, we got to start here.
3 seconds.
Let's all stand for the prayer and flag salute. Shall we pray?
Lord, we thank you for this day and all the blessings that you bestow upon us. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity as town trustees to serve the town and meet here tonight. And we pray that you would give us the wisdom and the understanding that we can carry on the town business and further the cause of the citizens that live here. Lord, we thank you for your unconditional love. We pray that you would continue to watch over us and guide us. Thank you for your son, Jesus, and it's in his name we pray.
Amen.
To the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Said it should be a runaway tonight. He said it should be. Good Lord. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Town of Fort Gibson, Monday, April 27th, 2026, at 6:01 PM. Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt.
Here.
Bob Boatman.
Here.
Jerry Hooks. Steve Lincoln.
Here.
Mike Sharp.
Here. Item number 1, visitors' remarks or comments. This is to be limited to 3 minutes. Seeing nobody stepping forward, we're going to move on. Item number 2, special recognition. Item A, special recognition of Sean McCaig as Employee of the Quarter.
Sean's not here.
Sean's working.
All right, Sean is working.
I'm working.
All right.
Just for the record, I'll present this award for Sean McCaig on behalf of the city
Okay.
tomorrow when I see him.
Good job. Good job. Well, fantastic, Sean. I know you're not here, but that's fantastic. Item number 3, oath of office for the alternate judge, Justin Stout. I'll meet you down front.
Take your paper.
Yes, sir.
I hadn't seen him in 10 years.
Raise your hand. I, Justin Stout, do solemnly swear that I will defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma, and will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity, that I have not paid, contributed, either directly or indirectly, any money or other value to procure my own except necessary. I have not knowingly violated any election law of the state. Knowingly received. Domestic grant, income, valuable thing for the performance or non-performance of any act or duty pertaining to my office other than the compensation allowed by law. And I will publish that I will not receive, use, or travel upon any free pass or on free transportation during my term in office. Now you get to read that.
I get out my reading glasses.
All right.
I, Justin Stout, do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma, and discharge the duties of my office with fidelity, that I have not paid, contributed, either directly or indirectly, any money or other valuable thing to procure my nomination or appointment, except for necessary and proper expenses expressly authorized by law. That I have not knowingly violated any election law of the state or procured it to be done by others in my behalf. That I will not knowingly receive directly or indirectly any money or other valuable thing for the performance or non-performance of any act or duty pertaining to my office other than the compensation allowed by law. And I further swear that I will not receive, use, or travel upon any free pass or any free transportation during my term. I appreciate the opportunity.
Denise.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you. Happy to help when needed.
Thank you.
All right, let's do this.
Item number 4, consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
Let it be noted for the record, Jerry made the motion to approve the consent agenda, and Bob seconded that motion. Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt.
Aye.
Bob Oakley.
Aye.
Jerry Harris.
Aye.
Steve Slinkerberg.
Aye.
Mike Sharp.
Aye. Item number 4, items of business for discussion, decision, and/or take action. A, discussion, decision, and/or take action regarding items removed from the consent agenda. There were none. Item B, discussion, decision, and/or take action regarding the planning and zoning recommendations to vacate and/or close West Blackjack Avenue from north corner of Block 85, thence northwestly to the west corner, that intersects West Blackjack Avenue, an alley that runs between lots 1 to 9, all inclusive, Block 78. Assuming Jeffrey knows something about this.
Steve, speak on
Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry about that. This came before planning and zoning, and you can see on your computer screen there, that, the planning and zoning, uh, that's under item 1B there. Uh, And Stephen Hill made the motion to move to vacate and close West Blackjack Avenue from north corner of Block 85. You can read the rest of it there. So the planning and zoning is for this. They voted for that. Uh, And also on, do we need those, we're talking about all this in inclusive, right, for B2? I mean, C,
No, this is just that. small-
this is just B.
This is that portion that our UA yard sits on.
Yes. Okay, this is the utility authority yard that sits on what we're closing, what the planning and zoning recommended to close. So,
I'll make a motion.
And I don't mean to interrupt, okay? I want to make sure the board knows the way that's written. B says closing, and then the other print says vacate and or close. Did the board, Steve, did it make a recommendation as to one or the other? Close, if we close it, then you can reopen it anytime you want to, the town can. If you vacate it, you can never reopen it, and the land goes to the title owners of property on both sides. So I just want y'all to be aware that there's, what happens tonight on vacate or close, will, have ramifications in the future.
Well, I'm just curious. Can you do one or the other, but not both?
Can't do both.
Okay, so the way it reads, should either read
And or
vacate
close.
or should read close.
Yeah, so my advice to the town
Close
is
it.
close it.
Yeah.
So you always have that ability to open it if there was a reason.
Bob, you want to amend your?
That's probably what the motion is gonna make, Bob, but
Yeah, he's going.
I just wanted everybody.
Thank you, Larry, appreciate that. We pass but with the language that we're just going to close this. We're not going to vacate anything, we're just going to close it. Be noted for the record, I'll make a motion to close B, not vacate, close it. Nancy second that motion. Is there any further discussion? None? Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt.
Aye.
Bob Oakley. Jerry Harris. Steve Slinkerberg.
I'm gonna abstain.
Aye. Item C, discussion, decision, and/or take action regarding 119 North Jackson Street.
I'll talk about that too. That's the piece of property up here that adjoins the piece that the town bought from Linda Boatright. James Dawes is the administrator on that. Uh, The, we just got an appraisal. This is hot off the press. Okay, let's see what it appraised for. Mr. Dawes wanted 55,000 for it. I believe that's what we discussed at the last meeting. Uh, The appraiser appraised it for 60,000. Uh, So with that being said, uh, it's appraised for 5,000 more than what Mr. Dawes offered it to the town for. Any questions?
I have just one
Okay.
question. We spoke about, I think, I may be incorrect on the amount, but we had about 25,000 in that fund. Do we know where we could pull the other from without making any problems?
Would have to have an emergency reserve.
Is that gonna, I have no idea how much is in emergency reserve. Is that gonna deplete it, hurt it? No.
Okay. Any other question?
Nope, that's all I had.
Well, I'm going to make a motion that we offer Mr. Dawes 55,000 for the property.
I'll second that motion.
Let it be noted for the record, Stephen made the motion to offer 55,000 for the property, and Bob seconded that motion. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt,
Aye.
Bob Bogan,
Aye.
Jerry Harris, Steve Lincoln,
Aye.
Mike Sharp,
Aye. Item number D, discussion, decision, and/or take action in regard to establishing an annual community garage sale weekend and waiving associated garage sale permit fees. Good morning, good afternoon.
I am Louie Ford, and I'm the one organizing the Fort Gibson Community Garage Sale.
Uh-huh.
We have it dated for June 19th and 20th right now. And I've been researching like how other cities do theirs, and the majority of them always waive the fee, the garage sale permit fee for the community, just to help promote it and just to encourage everyone to participate. So I'm here to just see if the city would consider doing that.
Luann, does everybody have this at their houses or it's not one location? Okay.
It's like a, way I understand it is it's gonna be a map on Facebook or something like that with dots telling them where it is. I was informed that, and pretty good participation also.
Yes, so we've attended Wagner for the last 2 years. They usually sell out by the first day, which they have it actually right in Saturday. So if you give them on Saturday, like, it's completely, just, it's
Like-
horrible because it's so frustrating when you drive off the sales and they don't have it, right? It's all sold out. So I've learned from that, and the way I would do it is I'm gonna have a map for Friday and a map for Saturday, so that if anybody closes down, sells out, whenever they're not chasing sales.
That's a great idea.
And then Talifol, they do theirs, so Wagner has theirs actually this next weekend, the first weekend, in May. And then Talifol does theirs the first weekend in June. And they have like 150 sales in Talifol. And it's just one lady just like me that does it. She's a realtor over there. And, they do really good. She does a math also, but she doesn't do 2 different days. So I just thought that would be better for our community. It's a good community outreach. A lot of people get out and meet your
A
neighbors.
lot of people garage sale.
Talk to people, and just really, it's a really good, community outreach. So we just need the weather to be good. And if not, like, have it advertised, like, for a rain out weekend, which would mean if it was completely washed out. I wasn't gonna do that unless it kind of comes up, because people being confused by it, you know? That's something we can do, or we don't have to. A lot of people do rain or shine, but like, a lot of people can't have it. Set stuff out, you know, have, or if it rains. So depending on the weather, we're planning on having the 19th and 20th, but I think we put in there, then we Nicole put it like for the next weekend to be the default weekend because it's a complete washout. That would be just like running all day Friday, Saturday, and
So when is this gonna be?
the 19th and 20th
Of June. Of June?
of June, sorry. Plenty of time. We've already started advertising.
How many people do you, how many households do you anticipate?
People, because I wasn't even gonna advertise it if we didn't get at least 20 to 30 people. So far, we have over 40 people that said that they would like to do it. So right now, we have 3 committed, but we're still 8, 9 weeks away. And I'll just keep promoting it on through social media and build it up.
Well, that's gotta bring people from out of town to
Yes.
Fort Gibson
Yep.
that may buy a dinner or a gas or whatever
Yes.
and all that.
So that's really, really good for our community. People's gonna be eating here, buying gas and stuff at a convenience store for shopping. But when we have ours, Memorial Day weekend, and we live way out on Rocky Top and 6 Mile Road, and we have people all the time, because I advertise so well, but they are like, we drove an hour for yourself from Broken Arrow, Oak to Hall, Wagner, Coweta, like it's crazy, and I hear that every year. So just through social media, that's all
Yeah.
you have to do. I actually started a garage sale group just for garage sales in Fort Gibson, Muskogee. And so that's really taken off and it's getting a lot of traction.
Good job.
Anyway. just
Sounds like a
wanted to-
no-brainer to me.
Yeah, me too.
I make a motion, we approve 3D.
Let it be noted for the record, Stephen made the motion to approve 3D as presented. Jerry seconded that motion. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt,
Aye.
Bob Whitman,
Aye,
Gary Harris.
I'm in.
Aye.
I'm in.
Aye.
yeah. No, that'd probably be my second one by then. I got a lot of
I
junk.
have one more question. So does that mean like, because we're hoping to make an annual event if it's a good success. So does that mean every year I need to come back? Or
We're gonna make you come back every year.
just so I can just be.
Just
We
so-
enjoy your
Just so
company.
you can give us an update on this year's, next year.
Yeah. So.
Now, I understand, I've been told that you're coordinated with Muskogee and Fort Gibson at the same time?
Well, advertise.
Okay, so there's gonna be garage sales in Muskogee and here in Fort
It's
Gibson?
just. Fort
None?
Gibson.
Okay,
Yes. There's
good
no
enough.
one that organizes
I
one for-
misunderstood that then,
for
okay.
Muskogee, actually.
Fantastic.
Now, this weekend, like Hilldale area's having one, like where they have a lot of their neighborhoods do it. But they don't, and then Bragg's does it, I think we're closer to like Fender weekend.
Take advantage of Fin and Feather.
I was only kidding you. I mean, the way we approve this,
I think it's gotta be done yearly.
it does.
Well, if we approved, okay, it says, establishing an annual community garage sale weekend. So,
And waiving.
yeah, I think she's good where she
One
doesn't
time?
have to come
One-
back. We don't mind you coming back.
I'm fine
Matter
with
of
it.
Well, you
fact,
can come back and give us a report. Like,
you
Yeah,
tonight
after it's
have
over.
answered a great question of mystery. Here about 6 months ago, someone was asking a question on Facebook about garage sales. And they was all chit chatting and said, call Lou Ann Ford. And I'm thinking, what does she know about it? Well, now we know why.
Now she's the
So
big dog.
after your kids get all out of the house.
That's right.
You're it, apparently.
Fantastic. I think you're doing a great thing, Luann.
It's a big deal, and it's not like, it's not so
Oh,
crazy. It's like,
yeah.
oh, you have to have one person because that's when everybody gets their checks written. That's not how it is.
Mm-mm.
And you also need to go the first day.
Yes.
You go the second day, you're missing out. Absolutely.
There's just a lot of people, like, and they're looking for things or.
So will it be on the same weekend every year?
Approximately.
I'm assuming that we can probably keep it, I don't want to keep people far, but keep it out. Even though, like I said, Wagner is South Thursday. And ours is until Friday and Saturday. If we moved it closer, that's the weekend. If we needed to do it on Thursday, but any sale that we're doing sells good. I don't think that
That's cool.
Oh, but
People
it
garage
does.
sale like
The
crazy.
weather's
I
good,
want to get
you're
rid of
gonna
it.
have
Oh, I
some
can sell it.
Yeah,
Now, some of
absolutely.
those
Yeah,
estate sales.
fantastic.
I
I think
can't
you're
sell
good
it
to
at
go.
garage sale.
Yep.
I'll have to go
I,
with
we
it.
appreciate
That's
you.
the hard part.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
As well.
Yes.
So we are-
Item E, discussion decision and or take action regarding the budget amendment as identified in Appendix A.
And refresh my memory, why do we get these?
This is, this goes back
Okay.
into the,
This is going back in, right?
back
Yeah,
into it,
okay.
yes.
All right.
Yes, this is going back into the budget.
Make a motion, we approve, for E as presented.
Nancy, was that you?
Yes, sir.
Let it be noted for the record that Stephen made the motion to approve 4E as presented, and Nancy seconded that motion. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt. Bob Boatman. Jim Harris. Steve Lincoln.
Aye.
Mike Sharp.
Aye. Item F, discussion, decision, and/or take action regarding the U.S. Army Donations Program.
Good evening.
Hey, Tony.
I prematurely jumped the gun and did not get all the information that was needed, because I was like the little kids did. So there are a few things that we need to get for the checklist. So they still require the town of Fort Gibson certificate of incorporation under state law, town charter, or any other legal documentation stating substantiating recognition as a governmental entity of the state. I will have to provide photos of the town property that it's going to be being placed on. I submitted our last meeting, the minutes for the last meeting, but the requirement states that the minutes must show that the town will allow a US money-owned public display to be placed on public land, as it can never be displayed on private property. We will need these minutes showing this approval. You guys want to take a look at, I can give a copy of the email. It's just something that I to roll out. Just those three.
So they want to know where we're going to set it
Yeah,
first.
I sent them the GPS coordinates, but I guess that wasn't good enough for them on Google Maps or whatever. So I told them, no big deal, I can take pictures of town property.
So where's your thought of setting it? Setting it at? Where's your thoughts?
At the,
At the Langston Memorial
yeah,
Park.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought, but I just wanted to make sure.
there's plenty of space there for it.
Absolutely.
Now, I know you're gonna be putting a concrete pad in, but that concrete pad's not gonna be done until it's approval and it's a done deal, correct?
Right, until we get it and they say, hey, it's being shipped, it's on its way.
Okay.
Then we will ship it to you.
Okay, my only concern, Tony, is that Fort Gibson is known for its history, and the fort and the other historical sites around town and all that. I'm not for sure that that tank is a display of Fort Gibson history.
Right.
Now,
It doesn't necessarily have to be a tank, does it? Didn't you say it could be other equipment?
What's whichever, but the Memorial Park is dedicated to World War I, II.
right, but what I'm saying is, you know, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I personally have no problem with the tank. I think it reflects the wars
That served in those wars that.
probably some actually worked on tanks. Maybe,
Mhm.
yeah,
There's a ton of them buried here,
yeah,
and their relatives are coming, so yeah,
yeah,
probably work.
fantastic.
So if I can,
Well, that was my only concern, the historic period of Fort Gibson. Now, I know we've got a lot of veterans that served in the other wars, but, Fort Gibson is, that history is tied to when they didn't have tanks. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
There's,
they have their own Memorial Park. that towns don't know. I mean, I don't think it's gonna cause any conflict of mystery box, maybe, I don't know.
And I know I'm not a board member, but someone, I'm just gonna throw this out there, someone
Say history buff.
suggested if this does happen, and this goes along with what Steve said, that at some point, the town needs to get 2 cannons, like you're talking about, the actual fort, deals, and put one on both sides of the tank, so when people come to town, you know, that they don't think it's just a fort like Camp Gruber or Fort Knox or Fort, you know,
So
but
in the request for those, the tank is, I didn't ask for just a tank, I asked for cannon, for tracked vehicles and cannon.
yeah, now I'm referring to, this person was talking about period style cannons from the 1860s.
How many of them are floating around?
It's all,
Reproduction.
reproduction, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's.
Well, kind of like what the school has up there.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Exactly.
That's
Okay.
just a thought down the road. but-
Okay, I think it's great, I mean. But there's a lot of veterans in this town, alive and passed away. So,
So if I could get that information, from the Board of Code or whoever,
Yeah.
that way I can get that information, transferred back to them.
okay,
Do we
So,
need a motion or
there's
we gonna
really
hold that?
there's no motion.
Just hold, just wait, okay, okay.
This is an informative thing.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tony.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Tony.
Hold on. So you said that minutes must show that the town allowed US Army untitlessly placed on public.
Didn't we vote on that the last,
I thought we did
I
that.
thought we voted on that the last
Already
meeting.
submitted those.
Right.
It's very
Oh, so it's-
specific language that they're requesting, it sounds like to me.
Yes, I guess the board has to say that the town owns this piece of property and it is okay for the US military to place their piece of equipment on our property and not private property.
So we need a motion indicating it's okay to put it on,
Indicating the
town.
written language that Army would like.
Yeah.
Steven, you want to make that motion since you got it? Sure, we'll do what's needed.
Like I said, I'll go out and take the pictures if it feels.
Okay. Okay, I'll make a motion on 4F to subject to the other requirements that the town show that the minutes state that the town will allow the U.S. Army-owned static display to be placed on public land as it can never be displaced on private property.
Stephen made a motion, we have a
I'll
second.
second that.
Bob, let it be noted for the record that Stephen made the motion, on concerning 3F, or excuse me, 4F. Bob seconded that motion. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt,
Good job, Steve.
Bob Evans,
Aye.
Gary Harris, Steve Meyer,
Aye.
Mike Sharp.
Aye. Item G, discussion, decision, and/or take action regarding fiscal year 2026 preliminary budget request. That's where we get to take this home and study it, right?
This is our homework.
Homework. It's basically to take home and look at and
Yes,
review.
the meeting, May 26th is when we plan on having the public hearing for anybody that has any questions, concerns. I would hope that if you do have any questions or concerns, you need to be before then, so that we can make this adjustment at the time.
So you just answered my question. So if a trustee has a question or maybe wants to look at doing something different on the budget, need to get with you? Okay.
And, just for the record, this is the fiscal year 2027 preliminary budget.
Did I say?
And when do we
Oh, I
have to
said
have this in
26
by?
because it said
The public
20.
That's what it
hearing
says on
is May 26th. So we
Okay.
will, unless there
And then
is
we have to submit the budget by what day?
June 1st.
June 1st.
Yes. So if it's not
I read 26 because that's what's there. I just rolled right through it. On the 20th, huh? Mine too. I didn't catch it, so, yeah. Anyway, do I need to reread that or is it fine? Larry?
Just say that it reflects 2027, not 2026.
Okay, I need to correct what I wrote, what I read. It actually reflects the fiscal year 2027 preliminary budget request.
Okay, Amanda, I have another question. So like Nick's, and I haven't looked through this, but is there a line item budget for tourism?
Yes, 06 is tourism.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that would cover the Parks and Recreation Board that's being created and what they may be looking at some projects in 2026 and 2027. That
That goes into
40,000? Okay. So my next question is, let's say we want to make that budget a line item of 100,000. What do we do? Okay. Okay. And I'm just not, I picked her as a out because I was looking at Nick back there, but I mean, streets and alley, I mean, that's going to be a line item under something. I mean, if we wanted to appropriate or look at appropriating more funds than this budget has in it, what's the steps?
We estimate the revenue.
Okay.
We are gonna get,
Okay, understand.
so the expenditures match what we need to operate.
Okay.
That's all set. So if you are wanting to take money. there's
Well, I
only
know there's hard,
specific-
yeah, there's hard cost.
There's only specific funds we can take from by law. But consider also you're taking operating costs.
Well, that's just, that would be based on the town's projected revenue
Yes.
versus how they're going to spend the money.
Yes.
Is that correct?
And come October, stop close. All of the prior year funds, which is what most of these funds are running off of. Didn't spend in the year before. That's when that, so those totals are actually lost.
Right.
So sometimes we didn't bring, we didn't have as much carryover as we anticipated. but we're bringing
So as a trustee, I can go through this and I'm probably not going to know what I'm looking at. Okay. Well, and I'm talking as one trustee and I don't know that all these people are budget experts, Is there a way to have a meeting that you could explain this to us? I mean, can that be an agenda item?
It could be an agenda item, and I was going to tell the board. Amanda, did you say the 26th of May is the public hearing? Steve mentioned about if he had a question and you said get with you. I want to encourage the board. We've got May the 11th and May the 25th. We've got 2 meeting nights. Okay, so we've really got one meeting night. If you get home, Steve, and you look at this and go, this is all good except for this one thing. Well, if you ran to Amanda and said, hey, I want to change this, the rest of the board members don't know that you've changed this. So I would suggest on the next meeting we have is that we do put it on the agenda for the board, all the board can talk about any changes or any additions, because we run out of time. I mean, you have one meeting before, the 26th.
Well, and I probably should have got with you on this earlier, and talked about this, or we had a couple of meetings to talk about it. I know Jeff just came in, so he's new to the process. I'm new to the process. And, I'd just like to be educated a little bit, and can we move funds here? Can we do this? Can we do that? Uh, you know, I guess that's what I'm trying to get.
And we could have a special meeting too. We're not married to that one.
Yeah.
And Steve, that might work good for what you're talking about, to have a special meeting and have that as the only agenda item. And then Amanda could answer everyone's questions. Yeah, about, can we take
That's a
money from
lot- this is
here?
a lot
Can
to
we-
take in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to get anybody in jail, but so that's the reason that we need to be educated as the board. I know, we've relied on your team to put it together and all that, but I would just like for it to be explained by department and how we came up with that amount, and here's how much revenue we're projecting, and I could probably read through this and all that, but I believe you could present that to us in a real timely manner.
I mean, that'll work just within the next 2 weeks. Mayor, just
I call a special
call a
meeting.
special meeting in the next 2 weeks, and that would work.
Maybe in a week from tonight. Call it for a week.
I mean, does the rest of y'all think
No, I
that's?
think
Oh,
gonna
that's-
work?
absolutely,
I
Okay,
absolutely.
I don't have a lot of
just want to make
questions.
sure I'm not the lone
I-
guy.
It's not, I'm by no means an expert at it,
Yeah.
but I've been through a number of these, so
You're
I'm
saying
pretty
all the
hassle
right
about these
things.
questions.
You are on this. Well, I've done, this is my 8th one, I think, and it's a lot to take in.
It
in a
is.
short period
It
of
really
time.
is.
Yeah.
And it's easy to miss something, and I'm sure we
Yeah.
have. And how many times have you, I know you say, okay, this is our revenue, this is our expenses. How many times over the years have you somehow had I'm now I realize there's things like the flood and junk like that where you had an overrun and you didn't just figure it out about where it was supposed to be, right? That hadn't happened much, has it? I don't think so.
Well, usually budgets are history numbers, okay? I
Yeah.
mean, so you can kind of gauge and, I mean, that's what a budget is. I mean, the budget is projecting figures and you hope your projections are real close, okay?
Well,
And fortunately, I guess they have been in the past,
well,
you know?
they do an outstanding job.
We have had funds that we've had to decrease due to not getting as much prior year revenue as we expected.
Yeah, and see, that would be good for us to know, you know, and a history of what we've had to do in the past, or can we reappropriate more for Nick and tourism and take it from over here? I guess that's what I'm wanting you to tell us.
Let me warn you, and I don't want to speak for Amanda, but Amanda's really good at, for lack of better words, dumbing things down. But it may be a lengthier process
Well,
than what you're
It's
expecting.
gonna be a long
That's
meeting.
okay.
I mean, if it was just a couple hours, I think I'd get it by now. And I'm still far from it because
Well-
she's counseled me a whole lot.
Well, but we've got a sheet that we're gonna be looking at too,
Right.
prior to that, so, yeah. It's not like we're gonna meet, you're gonna start talking, and we're gonna have a bunch of questions. We're gonna have our questions hopefully lined out, so when we meet, we can get the answers and you can explain to us you know, how we can rob Peter to pay Paul or that kind of deal. So,
Do you need
No.
No,
No
no,
motion.
just gonna wait,
Okay.
okay.
Thank you, Amanda.
Good deal.
I want to say this, man, and I, nobody here saying anything different, but I just want to say this, kind of echoing what Jeffrey said. Amanda and her crew's always been fantastic about answering every question I've had about this in the past. They've always come through really. uh, That's, okay, let's move on to 4H. 4H, discussion, decision, and/or take action regarding Lone Oak easement. Stephen?
okay, we're getting close. We're getting close to having easements, that the Chapmans are gonna sign. They've, that list I gave you guys last meeting, was kind of a scaled down model of what they originally started with. I met with Bill Matthews, the McDonald's guy, super nice guy. Uh, He's willing to do whatever we need to be done, okay? And Larry has prepared the easements for the Chapmans. He's prepared the Matthews easement. We got to change that because he's only got one T in his name.
Okay.
Yeah. so,
We can do that.
Yeah.
I'll think of something else.
And so we're getting close, you know, and we're gonna need to take some action on this list. That's not our last list, Nicole. Maybe did I not give you the last one? I gave everybody else one, if you
I've
guys,
got-
yeah.
I got
Do you need it? Oh, no.
That's it.
Yeah, that one.
That's the last one generated.
Yeah. You can't stand that up, can you? That's the last one from the Chapmans, and it's not as inclusive as the one that's on the screen. They're not asking for all the stuff they're asking for there. Also, uh, while Nicole's doing that and gonna bring it up, I will tell you that Mr. Matthews, the McDonald's guy, is gonna be submitting plans to the town. I was not aware that his back paved parking lot of McDonald's is only about 50 feet from the new road. And he would like him, not the town, he would like to go from his north parking lot and have a street entrance onto the new road.
So curb cut, basically.
Curb cut, yeah. And he'll have, he'll do everything else. I mean, he'll hire a contractor, do dirt work, asphalt, all that good stuff. And as part of the Chapman agreement, of course, they want us to waive a curb cut. So that, what's that, $100? Okay, so. And as also part of their deal, they talked about fire hydrants. And if in fact fire hydrants are required on that street anytime in the future, we don't have to install them, we just got to provide them. We don't have to run lines and,
If they build on that, they will have to have at least one for a fire suppression line, and they'll have to have a fire hydrant, at least one.
okay, but, and what they're saying
We
is,
just purchase it and they'll.
that's right,
install?
that's right, exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
and streetlights, they're saying if we require, the town requires any streetlights, that it's our responsibility to get with OG&E and do that. Of course, we're gonna be responsible for mowing it, okay? I think that whether they mow 10 or 12 feet back,
Yeah, is that the whole property, or is it just the easements assigned?
Just the easements.
yeah, it's just the easement, it's just the road. Yeah, yeah. Now, the easement there between O'Reilly's and Harp, of course, Harp's mows all the way up to their side of the street.
Yes.
Okay, so as part of that easement, we made that easement bigger to go all the way over to O'Reilly's. So that can be all mowed and everything. It looks good. Yeah, that really looks good. Yeah. There's also an appraisal that the Chapmans had done, and that's part of that $7,500 they want to be reimbursed for. That would have either had to be paid by the town to get an appraisal because of the donation letter that the town's going to give the Chapmans and the Matthews. And I think that was, appraisal was almost $4,000. So it's the biggest cost of that 7,500.
Do we have any idea what the property appraisal is gonna be, that donation wise?
Yes, yes. And I will tell you, the Chapmans eat part of the easement appraised for 400,000. And it was Val Bridge Property Advisors are the ones that appraised it for the Chapmans.
Yes, sir.
There was not an appraisal done on Mr. Matthews' property, but talking to Mr. Chapman, we can probably use his appraisal and interpolate the Matthews amount that would be donated. And Larry, they talked about, not a dollar amount, but based on this appraisal.
Okay.
And then that way they can get with the IRS
Yes.
and off the appraisal.
That'll be
So
fun.
the town won't be giving them an exact,
Right.
a dollar amount.
Right.
It will say based on the
appraisal.
appraisal, they did such and such and all that
Okay.
stuff. Okay, there, it's in front of you now. That's the new one.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we need to go ahead and take action on it. I mean, if you were to compare this one with the other one that Nicole had up, it's a whole lot less request and, you know, lets the town off on some other things they were wanting to do and all that good stuff. But we're ready. We're close.
That sounds awfully reasonable to me.
Well, you know, if I were the Chapmans, I probably, you know, of course, everybody's different, but you know, this is, to me, it's a less of a request than they've ever made with the
Yeah,
town.
whole lot.
Well, also as the town attorney, I would advise the board to accept this because we got a $700,000 road on a $400,000 piece of property that
We legitimately can't
the
use.
town never did get permission before they built the road. So I think this is very generous.
think you're
and I-
thinking
And I
really
would
good.
advise the town to accept it.
Yeah. Well, I'll make a motion on this if you guys want one. I will make one, approving 4-H with the new donation agreement.
Any
For the loan up
modifications or
properties.
anything, or, do we have,
Yeah,
need to add
we're-
any other language or anything to it, or?
Do you
No,
want
no,
it
just say as presented, as far as.
presented to I call this thing a donation agreement. Well,
Well, that's what they call
yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Is that what it's supposed to, is that what we're gonna call it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you,
That'll be fine, yeah.
can you scroll that back down, Nicole? The other way.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
Yeah, they call it a donation agreement there, Bob, on
I
your.
was trying to run it down here with my finger. And
Well, I can
realized don't
share
have
it
any
with you.
control of that. Do what?
I said I can share it with you.
So Bob made.
Let it be known for the record that Bob made the motion to approve 3H as presented.
4-H, isn't it?
Excuse me, I apologize, my mistake. I
You're
don't
fine.
know why I got 3 on the brain, but, okay. Bob made a motion to approve 4H as presented. Jerry seconded that motion. Is there any further discussion?
No, sir.
Seeing no discussion, roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item J, discussion, decision, and/or take action regarding Gil McLaughlin's agenda request regarding the deed restrictions on commercial property within Fort Gibson town limits.
I did some research on this, and in the state of Oklahoma, municipalities cannot create an ordinance that prevents citizens of the community from putting deed restrictions. So in other words,
Can't do
we
it.
can't do it, and people are free to restrict their land how they want to be restricted. And basically, the premise is, people, you just don't buy it if you don't like the restriction.
It's just kind of a
Exactly.
But
buyer,
Another piece of property. right?
Yeah,
buyer seller
that's
agreement
the
kind of
law.
Yeah, you can't.
So-
They want to say like you.
We cannot create a new
You get a
ordinance.
house,
No, we
restricting
can't
it.
create an
You
ordinance
said, "I want a mobile home," so that
preventing
would be a
people
deed
from
restriction.
putting
Yeah,
deed
exactly.
restrictions.
Okay.
But that would just be a
That's
Is there
buyer
a
seller
motion to be made
agreement
on this?
to me.
So do we
Yeah.
need to deny
Yeah,
his
it's really the
request
same
based on
thing, really,
Oklahoma law?
Except they're saying.
Yeah, if he had an
They want
official
to.
request,
You have the right to
I
say
would
whatever you
advise
say
the
as a
board to
seller.
deny
Exactly.
that request.
I'm sorry, I was talking.
We just need if somebody wants to, we just need a motion to deny
Okay.
that request from the last meeting to.
I'll make a motion, on 4J that we deny Gil McLaughlin's request for, deed restrictions on commercial property within Fort Gibson city limit or town limits.
I'll second it.
Let it be noted for the record that Bob made the motion to approve, made motion to deny taking action on regarding Gil McLaughlin's agenda request, and Nancy seconded that motion. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt,
Aye.
Paul Boatman,
Aye.
Jerry Harris. Steve Lincoln.
Aye.
Mike Sharp.
Aye. Item K, discussion, decision, and/or take action on Dave Hill's agenda request regarding traffic control, speed bumps, and camera signs on the town property on Oakmont Street.
You guys tabled it, so it gets put on the next
Yep.
agenda.
We did.
So one person was wanting the speed bumps removed and the other one was wanting them left.
Ready to me.
And some have already been removed, according to what we were told.
Prior.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been removed. So there's only like, what, 2 on the street now?
Yeah, it's one road, so there's one here, one here.
Right.
And, yeah, there's just two.
Kind of like it is on Walnut, so.
Yeah.
I don't know, this is my personal opinion about speed bumps. I think they're necessary. They don't necessarily slow people down all the time, but they're an effort to keep children safe. As far as children being out on the street, all I can say is that's a parent's responsibility, but at the same time, we want to keep the streets as safe as we can. So, that's my opinion. I think they're a safety factor, and I think.
Yeah,
they're
I'm for the kids every time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry they got a speed bump. I know they're a hassle and a
All
pain in the
it takes is
butt, but
one kid to be hurt badly or killed.
Yeah.
And we wish we had never done the speed
Yeah.
bump. I mean, taking
Yeah.
the speed bump out, so.
you're right.
But anyway, all right. We need to make a motion on this, correct?
Mhm.
Well, I'll make a motion on that. Make a motion on 4K, saying that, we don't approve Dave Hill's agenda request regarding traffic control speed bumps.
I'll second, well, I may redo that. Make a motion to leave the speed bump.
Yeah. We need to make a motion including stating that we would leave the speed bumps.
Oh, we're gonna leave,
where they
okay.
are.
Okay, we'll go back 4K and we'll just say that we're gonna, refuse Dave Hill's agenda request, regarding the traffic control, and we want to leave the speed bumps or the speed bump in there.
Bumps. There's 2 of them.
Well, there's 2, I'm sorry, the 2 speed bumps, we're not gonna take them out. How's that?
That sounds
Plain
great to me,
language.
Larry.
Sounds
That's
good.
good.
We ain't
Alright.
doing it.
Okay, so let it be noted for the record that Bob made the motion that we are not approving Dave Hill's agenda request and that we are leaving the speed bumps where they are. Jerry seconded that motion. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt,
Aye.
Paul Boatman.
Aye.
Jerry Harris. Steve Lincoln.
Aye.
Mike Sharp.
Aye. Item L, discussion, consider, and/or take action on the use of town vehicles to transport non-employees of the town. We brought this was discussed the last time too.
This was a doozy, wasn't it?
We were gonna check on the insurance and
There's
liability.
two,
Yeah.
three, items on this. And I don't know if it was Amanda, who talked to the insurance company on this? Was, okay, you? Okay, my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, one of the issues is what coverage do we have if someone is in a town vehicle? And based what Amanda has told me is if someone let's just take Jeff, for example. If Jeff is taking um, a citizen to lunch to discuss something about the town and he has a wreck, our liability insurance covers both Jeff, of course, and covers the passenger. If, and this is the odd part, and correct me if I'm wrong, Amanda, but if it's Jeff's fault, if somebody hits the vehicle that Jeff is driving and the passenger is injured, then our insurance will not pay for the passenger. Is that correct? Okay, so that's the status, but that's just the way the insurance policy is, okay? So that's probably not anything that's not normal. Um, and so what was how was the agenda item?
Transport of non-employees of the town.
Okay, and so the next deal stands by itself. So that's the answer, um, on insurance policy. I think that's a typical insurance policy. And I don't see any changes that need to be made because um, business people, government people, they take people to lunch. There's all kinds of situations where there may be a passenger in that vehicle that's a non-employee for town business. So I just think that's the answer that you get is that person is covered if we cause the accident. If somebody else causes the accident, their insurance
Has to
and
cover.
they will be responsible. So I think letter L is kind of a non-issue. It's more of an informative thing tonight.
Is this an issue
Okay.
we need a
But if
motion
y'all have
on?
any questions,
No,
we'll
you
talk
answered
about
my
it.
question as far as me.
Yeah.
Okay,
So there's no motion to be made here or anything?
that's right.
Okay. Okay, everybody understand what's going on with L?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay,
I'm good.
Yeah.
4M, discussion, consider and/or take action on the use of town vehicles for non-town business.
Okay, I worked on that for the last 2 weeks, and I even got uh, some some good advice. Um, it's always good to talk to other attorneys. I talked to a judge today that was the city attorney for Muskogee for I don't know how long, 15 years, 20 years, and I wanted to see if that came up, and he says it has. And he told me the same thing that I read in the law, that you cannot use government vehicles, public vehicles, for personal use. What Muskogee does, at least on some of them, they give a stipend to the person instead of a car. It's like a monthly stipend. And um, but you cannot use it. You can't go take it to the grocery store. You can't,
Can't be used for personal use.
yes. And you also, I think one of the issues we had is whether or not you can take your kids to school or not. And, you know, the judge, uh, he said, you know, it's just one of those areas where you hate to be that way, but if you could take your kids to school and it was on the way to work, but what if you had to take your kids to school and it was 10 miles out of the way? Do you still get to do that because the guy that's on his way to work kind of just deviates a couple of blocks? So the judge um, and previous attorney for the city of Muskogee said that I was reading it right. You cannot use public property for private use. Um, and I mean, that's what I found in the law, but I wanted to ask him if there's any exception or if I was reading it wrong. And he said, no, he said, you're reading it right. You just can't use, uh, you know,
What if you lease that, vehicle to Jeff for $1 a year? Would that get you around that? Doesn't sound good, but I mean, would that get us around that?
Would he have to carry the insurance?
well,
You're gonna go back on insurance and stuff like that.
there's another
No big
deal that
deal.
I didn't even consider, and the good judge brought it up and told me, if, if you allow someone to use a government-owned vehicle, public property, if you allow someone to use that, then that becomes part of their package. Then, and like I said, I didn't think about this, then they've got to pay taxes on the value of the use of that item. And I had never thought about that.
Yeah.
And so now I don't think there's a problem in going to lunch. That's part of your business day, and that's not using it like going to the grocery store or doing this or doing that. That's part of your business day that you're involved in. The classic example that I give that's easier to understand. Tony, I'm gonna use you if it's okay. Um, I appreciate this, but like when you're kind of a old country boy like me, I have to break it down where I understand it. Tony can't take the backhoe home this coming weekend. Sorry, Tony. You can't take the backhoe home this weekend and use it and bring it back Monday. I mean, that's a classic example of using public property for private use. Now, that's easy to understand. But that's my findings and the judge's findings too, is it cannot be used for personal use. Now, Amanda gave me a copy of some type of a waiver uh, that the previous town administrator had used. Um, and I don't think the waiver remedies the problem of using public property. It was more of some type of a waiver for liability if somebody got hurt and if the kids got hurt in that vehicle. Uh, So I'd be happy to answer any questions on this.
Well, I could see us solving Jeff's problem as the administrator, but what about the police chief and the fire chief?
Yeah, I
That's-
was gonna ask that too.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the problem because,
I have a hard time believing that the Muskogee police chief doesn't have a vehicle that he takes home and hauls people in and
Oh, I-
all that and everything.
I agree.
And the fire chief drives a car in Muskogee and all that good stuff. So, I mean, Jeff's deal is okay. I mean, we can solve Jeff's deal,
Uh-huh.
but, and all those three people I'm talking about, I mean, they're on call 24 hours. So if we make it part of their compensation package, Jeff or Rob or Nathan are gonna be paying taxes on the stipend they get, that's income to them,
Same thing.
Exactly.
okay? Or they're paying taxes on the allotment for the vehicle.
That's exactly what the judge told me. He said,
Either way, they're gonna have to pay, you know, for it. I mean, I guess in the past, we've had a town vehicle for the administrator, fire chief and police chief. And that's, I guess that's part of their compensation package.
We, at one point, Steve,
Just
I can,
work the
not interrupting, but I think when Kathy Carson was here, she had a car allowance. I may be
Well,
wrong.
I'm just saying,
but I
that
think
it's, over.
we've
I mean, we
paid
can
it in the
solve that problem
past.
with Jeff real. I
Right.
mean, we can give Jeff a
I
stipend
mean,
for.
she didn't have there wasn't a town car when she
Right.
drove.
No.
I don't know when the town car was purchased or anything
And
like
I
that.
don't know that it makes a difference to Jeff, but if I was the police chief, or if I'm the fire chief, it would make a difference to me.
sure.
To drive, you know, or have at my disposal at 24 hours a day. If I'm gonna be called at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm not gonna have time to drive my personal car down here and get in the fire chief's car that's parked over here and go to the
Well,
fire.
I think we all agree on that. The question is can they do
Non-town business.
non-town business driving those vehicles? That's the question. Can they do that?
Law enforcement was not allowed, when I was involved in it, was not allowed to take their kids to school and drop off. I'm not gonna say it never happened, but I'm saying they were
Well,
told no.
I have a son-in-law that's a lieutenant on the Oklahoma City Police Force, and he has a car, very nice car, that says supervisor on it. Okay, it's got lights on it and everything else. He cannot take my daughter and granddaughter in that car.
Right.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same
Yeah,
difference.
we're on the same page.
They can't.
They can have it 24 hours a day.
They just
And
can't.
they can have it themselves and they can drive to lunch, they can drive home, they can drive, but they
Can't go
cannot.
to the grocery store, haul their kid to school
Right,
or whatever.
that's right. You can't use it for personal
Personal gain.
uses. But we're going to need to visit that because what Amanda gave me, is, James had listed a list of things they could not do in the vehicle. And so that is out there right now, as far as, is that right, Amanda? Yes. So we're probably gonna need to revisit that in the coming weeks. But the answer for tonight, at least answering Jeff's question, it cannot be used for personal use. But he could have a vehicle, he could take it home, he could drive it to work, he could drive it to lunch as part of his work. But he can't haul kids around. Now, he can haul people around if it's business related. If you've
Right.
got somebody who wants to go out and look at this 5 acres for the town, I mean,
Right.
that's business related. So, but that's what I came up with and that's what, the
Well,
good judge said.
Jeff, you jump in here, because you're affected by this.
For me personally, that's the way I expected this was going to go. I'd prefer there not be any gray areas. And it sounds to me like it's so complicated to use. I would prefer stipend. For my purposes, I think Nathan and Rob's things are a whole different animal.
Yeah, but
For
you're
my
you're on
purposes-
24/7, Jeff. You just don't know it.
Well,
We'll call you at 3
my
o'clock
car
in the
works
morning.
just fine. I don't want to be breaking the law every time I get in it.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's not convenient for you to leave here at the end of your day and have a basketball game to go to and have to go home and change cars to
Right.
drive to the basketball.
I don't want to have to worry about that and taxes and all that stuff. I already understood the tax implications if that vehicle was part of my
Okay.
wife used to work for the IRS, so I figured that was the case, but it's a lot easier to pay as a part of your salary.
So do we need to put it on the agenda or something to look at giving him a stipend or a car allowance or whatever you want to call it instead of the vehicle?
Yeah,
to
why
fix
don't we
this
put that
problem.
on the next agenda, and we could also put on the next agenda as far as to review the current status
The policy and
of
tag.
those, yeah, and those using vehicles.
Do we need, do we need to do that separately? Does the mayor need to do it, or can we just?
Anybody,
to have it
any of
put it
y'all
on
can
there?
ask to have it put on.
Anybody can ask an
Yeah,
agenda.
we just need to do that for the next meeting, please. Take Jeff's
Well, we can ask
situation and
Nicole
vote on
tonight,
Yes.
that.
right? Yeah, we can ask Nicole that it be on there next week.
Yes,
Right.
please. That'd be
She
great.
just shook her head, yeah.
And,
How do we want to word it, Larry?
and do we need to look at arrears since he started payment, since he's been driving his own vehicle?
Okay, I'd put discuss, consider, and/or take action considering giving the town administrator a stipend for, vehicle use. That would be one. Discuss, consider, and/or take action on the current status of the use of town vehicles by the chief of police and the fire chief.
Is there anybody else that takes their vehicle
Nobody else
home?
takes vehicle. Oh, there are some others?
Every town, every department head drives their vehicle home.
We have a whole fleet.
So it's gonna be everyone.
Buy new cars every other year.
For the Captain Applegate, Assistant Chief Brady White.
Okay, we need to put all their names on there if we're gonna do this.
You know the names, Nicole, right?
Are you okay with us listing the names, coming up with a list of names to add to the agenda later?
Yes,
Then we don't have
yes.
to go through it right
No,
now.
no, we
No.
don't have to do it now.
Okay,
No.
gotcha.
Yeah, but just put them all on one agenda item. We don't need like 10 agenda items.
So we don't need to take action on item L.
Tonight,
No.
no, we don't have to take it tonight.
L or M.
Well, we don't take it on, we're not gonna take it on M, but that's my advice. And L, I don't think you have to take any action either.
Right.
Just for information
But-
purposes of discussion.
Well, let's go back to L. I thought L, originally, I thought it was, the question was about insurance. Now, it could be both. It could be insurance, or can I take my child to the grocery store? So we do need to take action on L. Now, let's table that, and I'll tell you why. We're going to need, the way that's written, Jeff can't take somebody to lunch.
Right.
So we need to table L and M and then have the new agenda items.
Okay, but I have a question for Tony and every department head that, I mean, they may take the vehicle home, but it's parked at their house, right? Okay, so that works.
Yeah.
Correct.
For the vast majority of our employees, it works the way it's done.
Because they're not transporting.
But do we have a policy that
Well,
says
I don't
that?
know.
That's what I'm saying. We
Do
need to
we
get
have a
black.
policy? Okay, well, maybe we. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, because we're doing what we're talking about. It was just that we were unaware that there's so many people taking vehicles home, which we probably should have realized that, but we didn't. So, yeah, I mean, we're not breaking the law,
No.
because they're not running around going to the grocery store when they take the vehicle home and all that kind of stuff. But we do need a policy if we don't have one. And you're saying, Amanda, we don't have one? So, yeah.
So what
Yeah.
happens
when someone sees a UA vehicle sitting at parks between 8 and 5?
Well, it depends.
That's what I'm saying.
Are
Yeah.
they going to get water for utility guys?
Are you
Yeah.
getting water for the?
Yeah, is it work
crew, or-
related?
That's what I'm getting at, like,
Could be.
you're. Grocery store here, so
Yeah,
there's
as
gonna
long
be
as
a.
it's work
I mean, we don't want to get, we don't want to scale it down. And if we have a policy, okay, I think we can address that in the policy. Are you sure we don't have a policy?
I think the only thing we had was for the police. Was that the so theirs is lined out.
Chiefs is like that.
Just
The officers used to have, I don't know if it was ordinance policy or what it was lined out that that was part of their package, taking their cars home within a certain mile radius. Now, that may have changed over the
No,
years, it may
I
not
think-
be in
I think that's still.
effect, but that was part of their package to and from or within a so many mile radius. But I've never heard of them all leaving them here.
Well, we'll for sure investigate
Yeah.
this, and if we don't have a policy that covers what we've talked about, we'll fix it.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, police and fire handle a little different.
Yeah, and it would be interesting to know like what Muskogee and Tahlequah does on the utility workers. Yeah, on how they handle.
Yeah.
That might be
Okay.
something Jeff, you can check on.
I will.
So Larry, is there action to be taken on L or not?
No.
Okay.
So we're ready,
We're not
We're
ready
just
for
gonna
anything,
table
Jerry.
it, I
we
think.
have to do them separate.
We're not doing it, no action.
Huh,
No action.
okay.
All right. We're moving on to item number 5, the administrator's report.
Sorry, I was making a note. More on me.
Yes, sir.
One thing, we do have our sirens up and running with the new sirens are working. We have 4 right now.
Yes.
They're still manually operated for today.
Right.
But any day now, our
We can get the
software
software
will be
installed.
attached, probably by the end of this week or next, that will link that with the National Weather Service, and it'll be automatic.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So we're almost there.
That's a relief.
That only leaves 2
Sure.
sirens left. The board's already passed the budget to purchase these. One for the casino and one for this building. And not to get too much in the weeds, but we're working on those 2, and the board's already passed the purchase of that for next fiscal year. So that's all I have right now.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Item number 6, any new business? Okay. Item number 7, remarks from governing officials. Seeing none. Item number 8, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 7:15.
Second,
Be noted for the record, Nancy made the motion to adjourn at 7:18. Jerry seconded that motion. All in favor, please raise your hand. Let it be noted for the record that everyone has raised their hands. This meeting is now officially adjourned. All right, everybody ready? I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Utilities Authority Board of Trustees of the town of Fort Gibson, Monday, April 27th, 2026 at 7:18 PM. Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt,
Here.
Bob Boatman.
Here.
Jerry Harris,
here,
Steve Lincoln.
Here.
Mike Sharp.
Here, item number 1, visitors' remarks or comments. Seeing none, we're going to move on to item number 2, consent agenda.
I'll make a motion, we pass the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
second motion.
Well, Jerry and Nancy beat you to the second, so let it be noted for the record that Bob made the motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Nancy seconded that motion just barely ahead of Jerry. Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt.
Aye.
Bob Boatman.
Aye.
Jerry Harris.
Aye.
Steve Lincoln.
Aye.
Mike Sharp.
Aye. Item number 3, items of business for discussion, decision, and/or take action. Item A, discussion, decision, and/or take action regarding items removed from the consent agenda. There were none. Item B, discussion, decision, and/or take action regarding items for disposition and declaring them surplus identified in Appendix A.
These are just more items that need to go before, any auction off or throw out. They have to be approved.
Is it gonna be public auction or silent bid type?
It's public, it's on Purple Wave.
When is that?
Part of it's already started. After this is approved, then they'll come take pictures.
Is it on that Purple A auction deal? Okay. Make a motion, we approve 3B as presented.
I'll second it.
Let it be noted for the record that Stephen made the motion to approve 3B as presented. Nancy seconded that motion. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt.
Aye.
Bob Boatman.
Aye.
Jerry Harris.
Aye.
Steve Lindenberg.
Aye.
Mike Sharp.
Aye. Item C, discussion, decision, and/or take action regarding the budget amendments as identified in Appendix B. Like before, this is what's being added back into the budget, correct?
Make a motion, we approve 3C.
I'll second it.
Let it be noted for the record that Stephen made the motion to approve 3C as presented. Nancy seconded that motion. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt.
Aye.
Bob Boatman.
Aye.
Jerry Harris.
Aye.
Steve Lindenberg.
Aye.
Mike Sharp.
Aye. Item number 4, administrators report.
This time I don't have.
What? Okay.
No news is good news.
Sometimes, right?
That's right.
Item number 5, new business. None. Item number 6, any remarks from governing officials? None. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 7:21.
I need a second. Gary seconded. Let it be noted for the record that Nancy made the motion to adjourn at 7:21. Jerry seconded that motion. All in favor, raise your hand. Let it be noted for the record that everybody has raised their hands. This meeting is now adjourned.